NHL free agency opens up tomorrow, Wednesday. So Hockey Central's Justin Bourne is with us now to talk about all 7 Canadian teams, what they need and what they really, really need. And we're going to start with the Jets, Justin. Kevin Shovel-Dayoff making a preemptive strike, adding to the blue line already. So what else is on the GM schedule?
Well, I thought I'd keep this one as absolutely vague as possible and just say that there's a point with a team where you check all the boxes. You have a top center, you have a top D-man, you have a top goalie, and just say we check everywhere, but we're not as good as a lot of the teams at almost every position. So where can you improve? There's a lot of big fish on the market right now, whether it be Dougie Hamilton or Jack Eichel, or I know it's tough in a salary cap era, but the trade that they just made kind of filled out their decor, but it's still not as good as some other decors out there. So I think they're just going to be sniffing around looking to improve everywhere. It's a pretty vague one, but the Jets have a ways to go yet.
There's been a lot of talk about changes in Calgary. So what exactly does changes mean? Because sometimes change can be scary.
Yeah, and the changes, I'd love to see the bomb go off and see Jack Eichel become a Calgary Flame. What Buffalo is rumored to be asking for, they have, whether it be, young guys, Valimaki or Dubé, or even, Hanifin might check the box for them. And they have picks and prospects. So I think Calgary could make it happen for a guy like Jack Eichel. They need to overturn it. They've fired the coach and they've done everything else they could possibly do. I think it's time to make a core change to the Calgary Flames.
Let's go to Toronto, and apparently Jack Campbell needs a buddy. He needs a friend, another veteran goalie. So is that the top piece of business for Kyle Dubas?
It's up there for sure. There's the big question of Morgan Rielly's contract. It expires after this season. I think you need to see if you can get him on the next contract. And if not, maybe make some decisions about what to do there. Looks like Rasmus Sandin could be the guy who's running power play one. And at some point, you can't lose another guy like Rielly for nothing. They're losing Hyman for nothing quietly, and they've lost JVR and Bozak and all these guys for nothing. So Rielly's a big one. But yes, backup goaltender or a 1B is important. A lot of options out there this season. I'm excited to see what they do and just how much faith they do have in Jack Campbell.
Lots of cap space in Montreal. So what does Marc Bergevin, what's his plan?
Well, we saw what he did last year with cap space, bringing in Toffoli and getting Anderson to come in. And, a lot of the moves he made there made them a lot better. I'm interested to see how he wields that again. The Shea Weber thing, is terrible as it is, and it is terrible. And I know he's disappointed and it'll take him a while to get over that. That frees up a lot of cap space for them in a year where that's a weapon. So, Eichel maybe won't, maybe Eichel's not the guy for them. I know it's a huge cost and I don't know if they're willing to pay it, but I still feel like they could be major players in UFA tomorrow. They're going to need to fill Shea Weber's spot, and they need some more scoring up front.
All right, I know I should never assume, but we are still going to assume, and this is going on television, Zach Hyman going to Edmonton. Is replacing Adam Larsson Edmonton's next biggest need?
Yeah, that's a big one, isn't it? I mean, they did not anticipate that. And just the position, the way he plays the position is so valuable, especially in contrast with what they have on that team. He actually plays defense and he defends as a priority. So that is a big loss and something they'll be looking to address. But I just feel like that fan base is so frustrated right now. A lot of people didn't love bringing in Duncan Keith. The Mike Smith extension, the Hyman one is coming at a big cap hit cost. So, we know they need to fill out the depth scoring, maybe with some veterans there on the cheap. But the Larsson one is somewhere they're going to need to address. There aren't too many players like Larsson, so that they've got their work cut out for them going forward.
Vancouver, number one focus, taking care of their RFAs? Question mark.
Yes, I would agree with that as well. That's, they've got a ton of talent there now. As much as you worry about the cap hit for Larsson and how many years it is, and some of the lost draft picks and the move they just made, holy smokes, they kind of have a lot of really good players there in Vancouver, and trying to win seems pretty important. So I like what's going on there in the short term, but yeah, they got to get those guys locked up, and the numbers they get them locked up to will dictate what they're able to do with the fringes, and in turn, how likely it is they're able to win in the future. So those RFA deals are crucial. The numbers are crucial. This is a huge turning point in the next 5 years for the Canucks franchise.
And lastly, we will end with the Senators. What does Ottawa do?
Well, I'll say this. A lot of NHL teams have tried to bottom out and then just think it's going to work. think they're going to get good players and all of a sudden they're going to be a good team. How'd that go for Buffalo, who's tearing it down again? How'd it go for Arizona? Edmonton, I don't know if you can say that they ever found their way out of it after bottoming out. So it's not as easy as just bottoming out. They executed that, but now what? They need NHL players. They need to find guys who can contribute today so their players are in games, they're winning, they're competing, getting a chance to feel like every day matters. So the Ottawa Senators need NHL players. I think they're going to be better, but you can't rely on your young players taking a step. You need to fill in around them with current NHL players while they develop.
Justin Bourne, I feel like this was a really quick rapid fire, so thank you very much. We didn't drag it out like Ken Reed normally would, and no pucks in deep.
Very efficient. Good for us. Thanks, Ivanka.
See ya.